Sri Gurubhyo Nama children, welcome to the online session. Already we have discussed yesterday about the IUPAC rules for writing the molecular formula of the coordination compounds. Today we are going to see the IUPAC rules for writing the names of the coordination compounds or complex compounds. There are certain rules put forth by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry in order to write the names of the complex compounds. One by one we are going to see the rules in detail. Rule number 1. The cations should be named first. The cations should be named first both in the cationic and anionic complexes. So the first rule is the cations should be named first both in the cationic and anionic complexes. For example, a compound is coming like this. I am writing a example for this. It is a cationic complex. So this complex an example for cationic complex. So when you name the whether it is a cationic or anionic complex, the cation should be named first. So this is a cationic complex. So the cation is copper here. Cation is copper here. So copper should be named first. So in this complex, it is a cationic complex where copper is the cation here. So copper should be named first after that sulfate has to be named. So here it is a cationic complex because the complex cation, see inside the square bracket, so a complex cation is there. So cation should be named first. Here the cation is copper, so copper should be named first. After that you have to name the anion which is present. So here copper is the cation present, so it should be named first. After that we have to give preference for sulfate ion which is an anion. So this is the first rule. So in order to write the IUPAC name for the coordination compounds, rule number 1 is whether it is a cationic or anionic complex, the cation should be named first. After that we have to give preference for anion. So here I have written tetramine copper 2 sulfate. The name of the complex is tetramine copper 2 sulfate. Here copper is the cation, so it has to be named first. After that we have to name the anion which is sulfate radical. So this is rule number 1. Rule number 2. Ligands should be arranged. Ligands should be arranged alphabetically ligands should be arranged alphabetically and be named before the central metal ion. So here second rule is ligands should be arranged in alphabetical order. Already I told about the ligands. Ligands are the electron donors which will be inside the coordination entity. So ligands should be arranged alphabetically and these ligands should be named before the central metal ion. So before naming the central metal ion, ligand should be given preference. So only after naming the ligands we can name the central metal ion. So this is rule number 2. For example, a compound is coming like this. So this is one of the example I am quoting here. There are, you see inside the square bracket, there are 3 different ligands. One is ammonia, another one is water, the third one is chlorine. The 3 different ligands are there. It should be arranged alphabetically. Already it is in alphabetical order only. So for NH3, so it is amine. Already I told you the IUPAC name for ammonia is amine. And for H2O it is aqua. And for Cl it is chlorido. It is a negative ligand. So it should be ending with O. Chlorido. So see the ligands I have arranged in alphabetical order. So ammonia will be coming first. So amine. The next one will be water. So it is aqua. The third one is chlorine. So chlorido. It is a negative ligand. So it is ending with O. Chlorido. So already the ligands I have arranged in alphabetical order. So the name of the complex will be tetramine, aqua, tetramine, aqua, chlorido. So I have given preference for ligands. So already the rule is very clear. So before naming the central metal ion, the ligand should be arranged alphabetically and it should be named first before the central metal ion. I have arranged the ligands in alphabetical order. There are 3 different types of ligands. One is amine, the next one is aqua, the third one is chlorido. Already it is arranged in alphabetical order. So when I want to write the name of this complex, I can name like this. So tetramine, there are 4 ammonia molecules. So tetramine, aqua for water, the IUPAC name is aqua. And for chlorine, it is a negative ligand, so it should be ended with O, chlorido. Tetramine, aqua, chlorido. The central metal ion I can give preference now. So chlorido, cobalt. The central metal ion is cobalt here. The charge of the cobalt is actually, when you talk about ammonia, it is a neutral ligand. So charge is 0. If you take water, it is also a neutral ligand. So charge is 0. When you take chlorine, it is a negative ligand. So inside the square bracket, there is only one chlorine atom. So it has -1 charge. Outside the square bracket, there are 2 chlorine atoms which are ionizable. So totally there are 3 chlorine atoms. One is inside the square bracket. The other 2 chlorine atoms are outside the square bracket. So there are totally 3 negative charges. So chlorine will have a negative charge. There are 3 chlorine atoms, one inside and 2 chlorine atoms outside the square bracket. So there are 3 negative charges. Yesterday we have discussed a rule that in a coordination compound, the number of positive and negative charges should be neutralized. So in a coordination compound, it is a rule that the positive and negative charges should be neutralized. So here when you take the negative charge, there are 3 negative charges. So definitely there should be 3 positive charges. So when you talk about the charge of cobalt, it is 3. Already I told you the oxidation state should be written in Roman numeral in parenthesis. So the charge of cobalt is 3 and it is cobalt 3 chloride. So this is the next rule. So first rule I told that even whether it is a cationic or anionic complex, the cation should be given first preference. After that only we have to write the anion. The second one I told that ligands are arranged alphabetically and the names of the ligands should be given first preference before the central metal ion. So here I have given one complex for the rule number 2. Rule number 3. Anionic ligands rule number 3. Anionic ligands end with O. Whereas cationic anionic ligands end with O. Whereas cationic and neutral ligands remain the same. So anionic ligands end with O, whereas cationic and neutral ligands remain same except aqua for H2O, amine for NH3, carbonyl for CO and nitrosyl for NO. The rule is very clear that anionic ligands end with O, whereas cationic and neutral ligands remain the same. And here also there are some exceptional case. When you talk about water, we are writing the IUPAC name is aqua, for ammonia it is amine, for carbonyl, for CO it is carbonyl, for NO it is nitrosyl. So it is the third rule. I am going to give one example here. For example, a compound is coming like this. A compound is coming like this. Listen here. See, the complex is a complex anion because the complex has got a negative charge. So it's an anionic complex. So it gave it has a complex anion here. You see here cyanogen CN. It is a negative ligand. Already I told you negative ligands are anionic ligands. It should be ended with O. So negative ligand should be ended with O. When you name this complex, so we have to give, see the preference. So there are totally 6 cyanogen atoms bonded to the central metal ion. So the name of the complex will be hexa. There are totally 6 cyanogen. So we have to use the prefix mono, di, tri, tetra, like that. So here there are 6 cyanogen atoms, so you have to use hexa. For cyano, CN, it is cyanido. In IUPAC previously it was told as cyano, now it has been, there has been a change has been recommended. So here instead of cyano I can tell cyanido. So hexa cyanido, as it is a negative ligand. So I told you negative ligand should be ended with O. So cyanogen is a negative ligand, so I have written hexa cyanido. Whenever a negative ligand is attached to the central metal ion, the central metal ion should be ended with ATE. So whenever a negative ligand is attached to the central metal ion, the central metal ion should be ended with ATE. As cyanido is a negative ligand attached to the central metal ion, so the central metal ion should be ended with ATE. So when you name the complex, it will be hexa cyanido ferrate. Hexa cyanido ferrate. So here when you see the charge, when you see the oxidation state of the central metal ion, it is 2 hexa cyanido ferrate 2 ion. As the complex as it is a charged complex. So we have to write ion here because we can see a charge outside the square bracket towards the right superscript. So hexa cyanido ferrate 2 ion. So it is the name of the complex. So rule 3 is very clear that whenever anionic ligands are there, it should be ended with O. So here I have given an example, FeCN6 4 minus. As cyanogen is a negative ligand, anionic ligand, so it should be told as cyanido. Totally there are 6 cyanogen atoms, so we can name the complex like hexa cyanido. One more rule is also there, I am going to introduce here. Whenever negative ligand is attached or anionic ligand is attached to the central metal ion, the central metal ion should be ended with ATE. So you have to add ATE to the central metal ion whenever it is attached with the anionic ligand or negative ligand. So here as iron is the central metal ion, I have to add ATE, hexa cyanido ferrate 2 ion. So this is rule number 3. Rule number 4. Numerical prefixes. Numerical prefixes like mono, di, tri, tetra, penta, hexa are used for the number of individual ligands. So numerical prefixes like mono, di, tri, tetra, penta, hexa are used for the number of individual ligands in the coordination entity. So when number of individual ligands are there in the coordination entity, we have to use the numerical prefixes mono, di, tri, tetra, penta, etc. in order to include the number of individual ligands in the coordination entity. For example, Here you see ammonia, there are 4 ammonia molecules joined to the cobalt. So we are going to use the prefix tetra. So already I told you, when the number of individual ligands are, it can be indicated by using the numerical prefix like mono, di, tri, etc. Here in this complex, there are 4 amine molecules bonded to the central metal ion. So it can be called as it can be indicated as tetramine. Tetramine. So it is an ammonia. For ammonia, the IUPAC name is amine, AMMINE. So as there are 4 ammonia molecules attached to the central metal ion, the complex can be named as tetramine. Tetra, there are 4 ammonia molecules. Tetramine, aqua, chlorido, cobalt. Already the charge is 3 here. Already I told you. Already we have discussed this complex. There are 3 negative ions, so that will be 3 positive. So cobalt 3 chloride. So when there is a numerical prefix, so if more number of individual ligands are present in a complex in the coordination entity, we have to use the numerical prefixes like mono, di, tri, tetra, penta, etc. in order to indicate the number of individual ligands. For that I have given one example. If the numerical ligands if the numerical ligands have complex, if the numerical ligands are complex, then alternative prefixes like bis, tris, tetrakis, etc. has to be used. So, already repeated rule number 4. When the coordination entity consists of number of individual ligands, so we are going to use the prefixes mono, di, tri, penta, hexa, like that, etc. And there is another thing, another rule I want to introduce here. One more point I want to tell here. If the ligand itself complex, if complex ligand is present inside the square bracket, we have to use the alternative prefixes like bis, tris, tetrakis, etc. for the IUPAC nomenclature. We are going to see one example. A complex is coming like this. So here I told this is a complex ligand. So this is a complex ligand. Already the name of the ligand is triphenyl phosphine. Triphenyl phosphine. So it is a complex ligand. So I have to use, there are 2 molecules of triphenyl phosphine. 2 molecules of triphenyl phosphine. So it is a complex ligand. So you have to use alternative prefixes like, here there are 2, we can indicate as bis. So the compound is, the name of the complex is dichlorido bis, triphenyl phosphine, so here it is a complex ligand. So this triphenyl phosphine is a complex ligand. Two molecules of this compound is included. Two molecules are included. So we have to use the numerical prefix, alternative numerical prefix bis. So as it is a complex ligand where two molecules of triphenyl phosphine is indicated here, so we have to use the alternative prefix bis. So if you want to name this compound according to the IUPAC, already I told you it should be arranged in alphabetical order. The ligand should be arranged in alphabetical order. After that only we can name the central metal ion. When you arrange the ligands in alphabetical order, it is chlorido, it is phenyl phosphine, triphenyl phosphine. So C will be coming first followed by P. So there are two chlorine atoms. So I am using the numerical prefix di. Dichlorido. Already I told you it is a complex ligand, triphenyl phosphine. There are two molecules of triphenyl phosphine. So it is a complex ligand. So I am using the alternative prefix. So that is bis. So dichlorido bis. You see inside the parenthesis triphenyl phosphine. So you write this in the parenthesis triphenyl phosphine. The central metal ion is nickel. The charge of the nickel is 2 here because the chlorine, there are two chlorine atoms, so two negative charges. Triphenyl phosphine is a neutral ligand, so it is 0. So if there are two negative charges, there should be two positive charges. So the name of the complex is dichlorido bis triphenyl phosphine nickel 2. I am concluding up to this today. Some more rules are there, we will continue tomorrow.